For me, I try to silence everything that could be a distraction in my life. And then I kept feeling like people wanted to suck me into drama and suck me into things that I didn't want to get involved in. And I felt like naturally, because you're in that community, that you would want to get sucked into things that other people are doing and try to help people and stuff like that. But people stopped supporting me, which was really good on that app. People stopped supporting me because I realized that the app is demonic. So the devil will give you some money, right? Right? You got to be careful, son. I'm a tourist, so I like security. I like security. I like to know where my money's coming from. And that's a demon of mine. Like, I like security, so I like to know where my money's coming from. So Bigo gave me this sense of security, but I also, in the back of my mind, when I was getting the money, was like, nah, nigga, remember, you a tourist. That's a demon of yours, nigga. And never, ever let money rule you, my nigga. So because I knew myself, I already knew that, like, yeah, all right, the devil was going to give me this money and all that. But at the end of the day, am I going to sell my soul for it? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? Yo, if you ever watched the saga of Wu-Tang, RZA had to make a decision. The way he was divinely led, he turned down $200,000 and went with the person that was gonna give him the freedom that they needed to do what they needed to do in the saga, right? RZA he the one that brought everything together. But I realized that RZA was playing chess, and as much as they needed that $200,000, he didn't take it. He took $60,000 because in the long run they was gonna get more freedom. And I was like, damn, that was an ill-ass decision because, he didn't do it for the money. He did it for the long haul. Like, what was best in the long haul? You feel what I'm saying? Let me know if I'm coming in clear, Aki. They probably telling you I'm locked up because the universe want to keep me relevant. The universe has done things to me to make me relevant in weird ways, like saying I'm a pedophile. But all these things gave me clout, and it's sad. But the negative things that's been said about me have given me the attention of people, and that's just sad. It's sad. It's sad that it took that for people to listen to me. You know what I mean? It took weird stuff like that, like lies and all these things, but it didn't matter, because it made people listen, and I got the ear of the people, and I was able to deliver the message. And that's what matters, but it's just that it didn't matter to me because everything that's going on in hell, it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter if you don't like me. If you guys don't like me, that's a compliment to me. If niggas in hell don't like you and they don't accept you, take that as a compliment. That's another thing. Like, learn how to take a compliment from the universe. Motherfuckers won't accept you at a job. That's a blessing. You can't get the job. Oh, that's a blessing. Sometimes you be wishing for shit that's no good for you in the long run, or your purpose. You know what I'm saying? So just understand that, yo. Just understand that. You know what I'm saying? Life is chess, not checkers, baby. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just figuring out that a black man invented chess. Love that game. Are you still getting high? I'm born high. You know what I'm saying? I'm a high person. I'm already at a high frequency of thoughts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was already at a high frequency of thoughts. That's why I don't need a lot of marijuana. Like, if I do, I'll take a hit or two. But I'm not like other people. Like, I see people throwing weed back, like smoking, and I'm like, how? I don't even see how they're doing that. I don't even understand. To this moment, they just have no connection to the ether at all. If you could smoke weed like, you don't got no connection to the ether, bro. I take 2 hits. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? I'm going into different goddamn dimensions and shit. I done had a whole spiritual awakening on 2 pulls of weed. And people will say, oh, it's a tolerance thing. Nah, nigga, because that weed don't make me want to go smoke it all the time. I'm not addicted to it. I'm already high, nigga. I actually like, you know what weed feels like to me? Like I've been put underwater. That's what it feels like. I've been put underwater. Everything kind of foggy. Everything's kind of like, but it needs to be foggy sometimes for me to stop thinking. You know what I'm saying? So weed is good to relax you and stop thinking and just be. It gets foggy. And there's this feeling as I'm coming down off the high that I don't want to be high no more. I just want to be sober and back to my regular state because I like who I am. I already feel high. Like my mind is already lit. It's just that I'm overbearing. You know what I'm saying? And when I get high, it kind of lightens the mood of what I'm saying. And it kind of like gets to the point in a better way. So I do use it as a medicine and as a instrument that it helps me to better say what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It helps me to say what I'm saying better. You said you hit it once to see the truth of life? Yeah, that shit just changes immediately. I do not leave a knot of weed, bro. No, no. I don't. And also the smoke makes me feel dirty. So then there's that. You know what I'm saying? You said shit is scary when you smoke weed? Yeah. It's all divine timing, okay? I just glad I be having my mind back after I get high. I'm glad I come back because I don't want to stay high, bro. I used to think I want to be high, and then I hit some weed. I had some kind of weed, and that shit had me running up the block. I hit some weed maybe like a week ago, and that shit just fucked me up to the point. I hit it 2 times, and that shit had me way too high. And I'm sitting here trying to calm myself down. It took me like an hour and a half to 2 hours to literally, I walked around the block. Sis was holding my hand and everything. And I was just like, nah, man, I don't need this shit. I'm already high. Nigga. And then sis took it and took 5 pulls and was straight. She was like, you good? I'm like, how the fuck you took 5, 6 pulls and she just lamping and chilling? Like, nigga, that shit had me like, nah, see, I'm different. I know I'm different. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even the people that just started smoking weed, none of the people in my tribe has the response that I have to the weed when we smoke it. It's just weird. You could say it's because I just started, but I don't think it's that, because I just think I'm different. My chemical makeup is different, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, you could be angry, and the weed does calm you down, bro, or it gets your attention. But when it hits you hard and you too high, that's not a good feeling to me, bro. And so that was a good lesson because I got too high over 2 pulls, and goddamn, when walking up the block, sis was holding my hand and shit, I was like, I don't know what the fuck going on with me. I just need to calm down. I think it was some sativa. That bitch had me hype as hell. I was up. And I got a Mars in the 3rd house, so I'm already a nervous energy. So I need weed that just kind of calms me down. But then I don't need it at all anyway. But there is a magic to marijuana. I'll tell you that. It's your anxiety, dog. Whatever state of mind you're in reflects off the weed. Nah, it was the weed. Because I smoked the other weed and I was chill. But I smoked this one weed and it was a different strand and it just wasn't in agreement with my energy. I'm already a nervous person. Like I'm already like antsy. My mind is already overthinking and I'm already at a high frequency of thoughts and they're going through my mind. And the way I look at the universe, you know what I'm saying? The way my thoughts is weird. You know what I'm saying? Like I have like, sometimes I have random violent thoughts that just pass by and I'm scared of those thoughts. I don't know why I have random violent thoughts. You know, and I often have thoughts of maybe just losing my mind. Like, am I gonna lose my mind? But what does it mean to lose your mind? How do you lose your mind? And so I'm sitting there, you know, overthinking and shit. So I gotta like, you know what I'm saying, chill out on the weed because the weed just, it really is good for me because it's a sense of me letting go of control. And I'm a control freak. So weed is teaching me how to surrender. And that's what I'm going to because my North Node is in the 12th house. So I have to learn how to let go of control and let go of the idea that I'm in control and realizing that everything is in divine order. That's the craziest thing about becoming a god, is becoming self-aware, is that it's a control. Because when you're self-aware, you realize that there's something else influencing you and you're aware of it. And it feels like you're not in control. And that's a scary feeling. So to become self-aware And to be aware of existence and be aware of what's going on can be so scary, because the very identity of what you are, which is aware, is the very thing that will freak you out when the universe does what it wants to do with you. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be again, you know what I mean? You think you have free will, but you don't. The fourth dimension, astrology, is controlling everything. Nature. And that's just the cool part of it all, bro. What's sativa? Oh, sativa, yeah. Sativa, yeah. Yeah, like, I feel like I'm afraid to lose my mind, but I don't think that my mind could ever be lost. But I've been in a psychiatric ward before, so I've seen people that you could say have lost their minds, and I'm afraid that might happen to me. So because my mind is so fucking delicate, like, you know what I'm saying? My mind is so, like, open and, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, sometimes, like I'm a man, so I have violent thoughts. Men have, I think, am I right? Or do all men have violent thoughts? It's a part of me. There's a part of me that's violent, very violent, but it's scary. I don't even like that part of me. I don't like the part of me that's violent. Like, ever since I was a little kid, I was that way. I had a violent in me. Like, I would be talking to somebody and I think about punching them in their face or just ripping their eye out. You know what I'm saying? But it's a thought, but it never happens. But it's something that goes through my mind, and I'm like, why do I? And I actually turn away from it. The more conscious I became, I turned away from it. But what part of your mind thinks like that? Like, why do we do that? What is that? Does anybody know? Women do too? You know, I have all kind of violent thoughts. Like, you know, sometimes with the people that I love, I'll picture things happening to them and then feel the feelings, and then I'll hug them and be like, nothing's going to happen to you. I love you so much. But I do think of things happening to the people that I love. I think that's part of psychology. Like, if my son is around or my child is around, I'll think about bad scenarios that could happen to them, and it'll make me feel extra protective of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, just violent thoughts in that way. You know, I think that's normal. I think that's really normal. I think people feel and think that those things. You know what I'm saying? So, but then if they're not normal, then at least I don't act on them, and I don't act on those things. I can't act on them. You know what I'm saying? It's just they just pass by. Like scary, eerie thoughts go through my mind now. Like what is outside of life? Why is this the only thing that we know? Those are really spooky things. And like, this has to come to an end at some point. And, you know, sometimes I know that I'm in hell, and I get that feeling of knowing that I'm stuck here and I'm here and I have to evolve through it. Why can't it just happen? And I'm just like, yo, you have to wait. Being patient makes me anxious, that I have to wait to evolve. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that my mind knows what's going to happen, I have to sit and wait in the moment and be patient. And so my mind, I'm like, yo, why does my mind have to know so much? Maybe I know too much. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, maybe ignorance is bliss in a way, but then ignorance is not bliss. It just appears to be bliss. And that bliss turns into the everlasting hell, because you need good to feel bad. And so the bliss of ignorance is the bliss that actually creates the fucking terror that's coming on the other side of it. So you say that ignorance is bliss, but eventually that bliss turns into hell and torture. So it's like, you don't want that ignorant bliss. You know what I'm saying? And like, the knowledge keeps you in a neutral point. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're happy or sad, knowing that everything is temporary. It's just crazy. Yeah, these are the thoughts that open you up. But some people act on those thoughts, and that's where murders come from. And that's where, like, these vicious things come from. Some people actually get possessed with those thoughts, and they actually do them. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I have violent thoughts, I'll walk away from everybody and just go sit down somewhere with myself. And I will recognize that part of myself, and I try not to judge it now. I try to let those thoughts go by without judgment. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, we got Jaomi in the house. I told everybody that we need to make sure that he be safe on the steps. Like, I keep thinking that he falls down the steps and breaks his neck, or something happens to him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, we need a gate at the steps, because although he's really good at walking up and down these steps, in my mind, I'm like, nah, bro, that shit can't happen. And I play the scenario out in my mind. I'm like, nah, we gotta prevent that. Like, so I'm like getting the gate for him immediately. You feel what I'm saying? Because he's really good at walking up and down the steps, but I fell down the steps, and as good as I am as walking up and down the steps, I fell down the steps. So it's like a numbers game. Eventually, it only takes one mistake on those steps, and then it's over. So we have to protect. So shit like that, I think it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, to think like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think about what's going on with my daughter, and I can't think about her. I can't even have those thoughts. I can't have the thoughts of what's going on with my children, because that I block out my mind completely. Because I feel like I'm doing a prison bid when it comes to my kids. I feel like